today, folks, hashtags is absolutely a fundamental marketing tool, an important component of your content marketing strategy to boost visibility and engagement. And by boost visibility, we mean getting your posts in front of your audience. Download the worksheet because it is going to help you take notes, since you can't take screenshots of what I'm saying. The important thing to understand today is what hashtags really are and how to use them. What is the purpose of a hashtag? First of all, you all know the symbol. A hashtag is a word or phrase preceded by a symbol that suddenly, because of that symbol, makes it a search term. Now, please let that sink in. It is not your little funny, quirky thing to use to look clever. It is a keyword that helps people find topics that interest them. It is a tool that facilitates search for topics. So the way you use it is to put it with content that helps the content get seen by a potential audience that might be interested. Hashtags were originally, I don't know if you're aware of this, originally started by Twitter in 2007. So they're an old idea. But they became adopted across platforms, and funnily enough, mainly Instagram and Twitter are competitors because of the power of these hashtags that help content get found. And then they were obviously adopted by Facebook and a little bit by Pinterest and latterly by LinkedIn, which has been an interesting development. It's become a social phenomenon. It enhances discoverability and facilitates discussions. It's become a standard feature of social media marketing. It's become universal, but also it's now got application offline in design. We've got some graphic designers here. You know that using a hashtag as part of your design and part of your message has become very accepted, although it's not a clickable hashtag. Adoption of the hashtags came about because of challenges and contests. So people could use hashtags to enter, and people who were running them could use the hashtags to track what's going on. And then movements like Black Lives Matter, Ice Bucket Challenge, things like that. It's expanded. It now has lots of different types of hashtags, which I'm going to talk to you about today, that cover topics, causes, brands. It's extended beyond social media platforms, and now it's incorporated online, offline as a kind of a language. But the important thing is now they are absolutely integral in how the social media algorithms determine the visibility of your content. Using the right hashtag that connects your message with people who are interested and potentially going to engage is one side of it. But then the other one is using the wrong hashtag, which attracts people to your content and they are not interested. Then they disengage. Either they don't engage with your product, they stop following you, various negative signals that the algorithm reads, and the algorithm stops showing your content. So it's not just throwing out a little word that sounds fun with a hashtag in front of it because it sounds all right today. The purpose of hashtags, just to quickly summarize the points, and first of all, I think I've made the point very eloquently: discoverability. It is a way to get your content discovered. We are going to deal with the individual platforms and best practices for each platform. You can overdo them, you can underdo them. They result in increased visibility. It is like adding an additive to your fuel. So your content is always key. And I just quickly want to make this point. Your visual element of your post and your caption, i.e. what is written in the text part of the post, should be walking hand in hand to tell a coherent, cohesive story. When those two don't connect, you've got a big issue, just like using the wrong hashtag. This whole thing is an ecosystem. Your image, your message, and hashtags all work together. The important thing with hashtags is they are for organizing content into groups of topics, into interests. So when you search a hashtag in your niche, for example, all the conversations, content posted with that hashtag come up in search. And you can then choose which one you're going to look at. The other point that's really valuable is cross-platform usage. So one hashtag that you use on Instagram, especially when it comes to brand and specific campaign hashtags, you can use across all social media channels, and they become searchable in search engines. Now it goes from social media to search. The other great use of hashtags is they connect tribes, connect communities, connect causes. So you can actually build a whole movement with the simple, clever, strategic use of a hashtag. Running campaigns, i.e. contests on social media, there's a skill to it, and there are rules attached to running a campaign on social media, but your hashtag is the fundamental part of that campaign, because you basically ask people to share the hashtag with their entries, and you search the hashtag to see entries and conversations. Then obviously event promotion, we've seen lots of big events, workshops, trade shows, all those things, how they leverage events on print, offline, online, all over the place. The hashtag becomes like a branding of the event. So maybe that inspires you a little bit with how you're going to use it in your visual content. Then trending topics. This is an important part of what's happening. And in our content marketing coaching and our content calendar, we talk a lot about trending, what's happening stuff. Commentary on what's happening in your industry. Commentary on latest happenings, things that are going on. Make it a mission to find out what's trending and be a thought leader. That builds your reputation, your credibility like crazy. There are the types of hashtags. And you will, in future, combine these hashtags. Every post will have, and some platforms, as I'm going to demonstrate just now, 2 or 3 is your recommended limit. Use combinations of different hashtags in each post. Let's talk about branded first. These are the obvious ones. Your business name, and then your slogan and tagline. Let's look at Nike. We all know Nike's Just Do It. This is the best way to explain the difference between a tagline and a slogan. The tagline for Nike is Just Do It. It underpins everything. But then they've got slogans for campaigns, like Dream Crazy, Find Your Greatness, and I Believe. Now, I hope you can just see easily from that the difference between your brand tagline and the campaign slogan. Brand hashtag should be attention grabbing. They should be quite unique. Then we get product service hashtags. These now become broader and more generic. They're about what you are actually delivering as a product or a service. So for example, real estate or cluster home. You could also focus on a niche. So here in my notes, I've got an example of a hair salon, which I think is easiest for everybody. Product would be hashtag hair salon, and then a niche hashtag would be ladies hair salon. Now think about search behavior. Are people not more likely to find you through those type of hashtags than using something quirky? Then you've got industry hashtags, obviously realty, marketing, banking, that kind of thing. Very generic. We're going to talk a bit more about generic hashtags. It really depends on the context of your content. Generic hashtags have got a downfall. We'll talk more in a minute. Then trending hashtags. Now here, those of you in content marketing Kaizen coaching, this is possibly going to go, oh, now I see why she harps on this. Trending hashtags are things like viral topics, Oppenheimer, Barbie movie, or events like red carpet, the Oscars. Then daily themes, Throwback Thursday, holidays, days of the year. Now people follow these hashtags, but please never use the hashtag just because you're too lazy to create a post. Never just say happy whatever day. It means nothing, adds no value. When somebody searches that hashtag, they're expecting to be entertained, inspired, or educated. So when they land on that hashtag, your content, make sure it's a happy experience and it's not just have a happy muffin day. I mean, what does that mean to everybody? What you have to do in creating content, in writing content, is use them to inspire your post, to get an idea about how that day of the year, day of the week, event can relate back to your business, to you giving an opinion, to you educating somebody about something important, the impact on stuff. This is such an important and useful part of social media marketing, but used wrong, you're going to get people unfollowing you because you are using it wrong. Next, community hashtags. We've got interests. We've got in my networking group, one of my favorite hashtags there is Girls on Fire, which is a group that teaches women to handle guns confidently. It is very powerful community of women. And then you've got social clubs, residential areas like I love this. These community hashtags, people follow and are fantastic for getting your stuff seen. And in the realty industry, guys, identify those community hashtags. When you operate a local business, identify your local community hashtags. They will help you get found. An extension of that is your location-based hashtags. There's a reason your social media prompts you to add a location to your post. If you've got a local business or you're targeting people in an area, target your location through checking in or putting your location on your post and underpin it with the hashtag. Campaign hashtags I've discussed. These are fantastic for running contests. You have unique campaign hashtags and you ask people to share the hashtag with their entry. So Adele, this one's particularly effective for you. On the days you have got your art workshops, create a unique hashtag for that day and ask them to share photographs of their posts with your unique hashtag. Or you then do in social media, search that hashtag and you've got all those images. And you just put a disclaimer up front and say to people, just know when you tell them that in person, when you use my hashtag, I am going to be using all your content for my promotional purposes. Easy way to collect power user generated content. And then of course, event hashtag, events in your industry, things that you're attending. How can you relate an event hashtag? Platform specific. Facebook, those of you using third-party scheduling tools or Meta Planner to post your content. You are putting your image on there, putting your caption, and you are putting your 30 odd Instagram hashtags on there and sharing it to Facebook. Facebook is 1 to 2 hashtags only. I promise you it's detrimental to overdo hashtags on Facebook. Your audience don't like it, the algorithm doesn't like it, and your post looks untidy. So when you post, just be specific to the platform. You've got a little toggle button there that says customize your post for the platform. Post all the hashtags, go to the Facebook post, make sure you're on Facebook and remove everything but 2. And suddenly you've repurposed your post for the platform. All of the platforms, basically, wherever you have got the little magnifying glass, is a way to identify hashtags. In Facebook, at the top, search a topic. Go and look at some of those posts that come up and see if those posts have got hashtags. Then go and search the hashtag. So when you search Facebook, a keyword and a hashtag could result in different content, because not everybody uses a hashtag and not everybody who uses a hashtag uses keywords. So here's another tip. Your caption should very naturally have keywords in the caption. If any of you are just dropping an image without a caption, stop it already. The algorithm is reading the caption to determine the keywords so it knows what your post is about. It's getting cleverer with AI tools at reading the picture so it knows if the picture and the caption match. And then, as I've said, the additive is your hashtag. You will go into search keyword, search hashtags. You can go to competitor groups, other pages. Look what hashtags they are using on their most engaging posts. So you simply scroll down, see which posts have got a lot of engagement, and spend some time just analyzing those hashtags. And then, of course, on Facebook is the really, really effective place to run hashtag challenges, use event pages and event hashtags to be found, and use group hashtags on your pages. So hashtags are very powerful to get all the different components of Facebook to feed each other with new eyes on your content. Hashtag gets eyes on your content from non-followers equally as effectively as followers. So your content without hashtags would just be pushed to your followers and to engaged followers. But now when you put a hashtag on it, it's likely it's going to go to a much broader audience because it'll go to the people that are searching the hashtag. And you will go and look at your insights on every single platform, all of them. The insights, i.e. the dashboard of what's happening, engagement on that platform, will give you insights for the posts, show you what engagement has happened. Now tie that together with what hashtags you are testing, and you're very quickly going to get a picture of which hashtags are working for your content or not. Instagram, you all know, I'm sure, that you've got 30 hashtags maximum. Does anybody know what the recommended is? Go for it, Russet.
Didn't you tell us before it was like between 10 and 15 at the most?
Oh, you listen. I'm so proud of you. That's exactly right. So guys, don't go stupid and overdo it, because you know why, which really has hit home to me. When you have 30 hashtags, you actually don't know which ones are working. So I would even have less than the 15 that max that's recommended. Go a bit less to test which ones are working in the early stages of this exercise. You're going to very quickly get a pattern of which hashtags are working for you and which ones you should simply drop because they're getting you nowhere. You need a combination. Instagram is the hashtag platform. And you've got, as we know now, a lot more. It's not one or two, it's plenty. So combine lots of those different types of hashtags. Use popular, location, niche, trending, Days of the year. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to make the other point. When you use days of the year, days of the week, it doesn't have to feature in the caption of your post, the story part. It can feature as a hashtag, a little thing, bit of text on the image, so the image is connected to the day of the year. But it's fatal to say today is, or put a date, because your audience might see the post later, and if it's dated, it ages your post. And if you say today is, and they're looking at your post in a month's time, it's going to be confusing. So that's just a little bit of interesting way to use the days of the year. Rather than say today is, if it's inspiring your idea, I am inspired to talk about what, not actually writing those day of the year in the copy. Then we've said you use them in posts, small on images, not with dates, and obviously on reels. Your stories on Instagram have got a sticker for you to add a hashtag. Now, why would they do that if they don't think it's going to get you lots of results? Use the hashtag sticker on your story. And remember, you can manipulate the stickers and make them smaller. It doesn't have to take over your post. They should be adding to the post, not be the post. The other place you can use hashtags is very organically in comments. For example, my hashtag, leave ordinary behind, which is a slogan, I could go to somebody who is posting something that is profoundly inspiring, uplifting, motivating, and put in the comments hashtag leave ordinary behind. Follow hashtags. Go and actually look for hashtags in your niche, in your industry, and you can actually follow them. It's a way for you to stay on top of conversations your competitors are having, people in your industry are having, etc. So please make a note now to go and follow hashtags on Instagram. And again, Instagram have incredible insights that show you when people are engaging, what they're engaging with. Tie that back to which hashtags you're using. LinkedIn, 2 to 3. Don't overdo it. You know LinkedIn is a professional platform. It doesn't want pretty emojis and lots of hashtags and things that take away from the professionalism of the post. And when you post, the algorithm on LinkedIn is so clever. It actually starts suggesting hashtags and you can click on the add button. Use your mind. Are those hashtags it suggests relevant? Also, by the way, when you post on the Meta Planner, you get suggested hashtags. Use them wisely. It might not know what your objective of your post is, who you're trying to reach, what niche you're talking to. So don't just rely on the tool, please. Apply a strategy to your hashtag selection. So on LinkedIn, it is recommended you do industry-specific hashtags. You follow influencers in your industry to see what hashtags they are using. Get into conversations about those hashtags. So where people are following those hashtags and there's a conversation going on below in comments, get involved in those conversations. That's how you will get seen. And when you add articles to LinkedIn, big value, it's like writing a blog, make sure you add hashtags, that those articles can get found. You increase the eyes on those. Use your company hashtags, whether it's your brand, your slogan, or your tagline. And of course, LinkedIn Analytics helps you monitor the views, clicks, and shares. Funnily enough, Pinterest has deprioritized hashtags. I'm not a huge Pinterest user. I go there for ideas, but keywords has become very important on Pinterest. Where I'm saying to use keywords and hashtags together is the key tip I'm giving you here today. Threads, the new Twitter type text platform of Meta. It's very focused on keywords, but they are testing a new idea, which is your hashtag appears as a link in a Word document, for example. It'll be a blue hyperlink. Now that I quite like, because that's going to work very naturally, organically in the typing of your text. The next two, TikTok and YouTube, your hashtags are used in the story, not underneath the story. I'm going to come to positioning, but where hashtags are a search tool at the end, we'll watch out for threads. TikTok, for example, has got 4,000 characters for a post. So you write your keywords as hashtags, and it just is organically in the description of your post. And go to the Discover page if you're on TikTok and go and see what's trending, what conversations are about. Get into the conversations. Here at the front of my mind today is, don't just think you drop a hashtag on your post, you've researched it very carefully, and now everybody's going to come to it. It's all about you paying it forward. I say this constantly about all your content, constantly to people who are saying my stuff isn't working. It amazes me still that some of you think you can drop it, set it, and leave it, and you don't have to do anymore. You need to engage with other people to be seen, to be heard on new platforms, to build your profile, to build your reputation, to build your authority. Just expecting people to come to you is a form of energy. You're not putting out what you expect to come in. This is a very important little woo-woo theory of mine. Pay it forward by going to the audiences you want to attract. Be seen where they are hanging out. And you are not promoting yourself there. You are adding value. You are entertaining, enriching, or educating. Remember the 3 E's? And then YouTube, the second largest search engine after Google, rivals Facebook in many countries with active users. Now, I know many of you are not on YouTube yet, and I keep urging you to get onto YouTube. You've got the video content. Why are you not putting it there? You are doing yourself an injustice and leaving money on the table. Tip for hashtags on YouTube is that you can add up to 15, but the first 3 in your list of 15 are the most important, because YouTube automatically adds them to the video title. You can add them just as I've explained with what Threads is testing and what you do in TikTok. Write them organically, except you use the hashtag sign, into your video description as text, as a keyword, but with the hashtag in front. The first 3 is a brand hashtag, a category hashtag, and your niche hashtag. So for example, EXP South Africa, realty, estate living. Finally, Musk, 1 to 2 hashtags per tweet. And the big opportunity on X is trending topics and trending hashtags. This is your discoverability tool to find out trending conversations in your area. And obviously, if you're going to adopt any of those, they must be relevant to you, your audience, your business. You can participate in Twitter chats by searching the hashtags, Twitter polls, and again, analytics and Twitter are powerful to tell you what's happening with impressions and engagement and so on. Hashtag best practices. Obviously, the right number of hashtag for the right platform, placed strategically for that platform in the caption or below the caption. Make sure they are relevant and they contribute to the overall value of the post. The first thing is quality over quantity. Don't try and force hashtags into your post. Use the right number, Don't overwhelm the post content with all this blue, all this hashtag going on. Use them to add value and attract people who are likely to have a conversation with that post. Relevance is absolutely key. Avoid overused hashtags because it becomes boring. It doesn't bring you new users. Try and be detailed and specific to the post. And of course, relevance with trending hashtags. If you use outdated trending hashtags, you're going to look like you just haven't got a clue what's going on. So drop trending hashtags when they are no longer trending. And avoid generic hashtags. This is a big point that actually hit home to me when I was updating my notes. Broad hashtags are likely to attract an irrelevant audience. You want to attract people that have got a niche interest in what you are saying, what you are offering, what your business is about. And also, broad terms are not likely to be searched by that niche audience. So what happens? Your content is simply going to get lost. It's simply not going to get eyes on it. Then you start questioning what you're doing, and you start doing all sorts of self-criticism and negative talk. And it's actually just the hashtag that's damaging your post. The lack of reach and engagement is about misusing hashtags. Placement in a post. On Instagram, there are two things you can do. At the bottom of the caption, and you know how Instagram doesn't leave you paragraph spaces. The tip is to put a full stop. So enter, start a new line, put a full stop, a new line, and then paste your hashtags. Leave a gap between your message and your hashtags. Now, doesn't that tell you it's not part of the message? It is signage for the algorithm. You can place one at the beginning of a caption if it's relevant and looks good and makes sense, but generally at the end. And you can also test posting your hashtags in the comments. Put one or two in the actual caption. And if you want to try a whole lot of other hashtags, paste them into a comment below your post. You know that you shouldn't be using spaces when you've got multiple words. It comes together as one word. Now, specifically when it's not a commonly used or known hashtag, the tip is camel case. Camels as in humps. Capitalize each word of the hashtag so that it makes it easy for people who are coming across it for the first time to read it in your post. Once it becomes organic, it'll lose all its caps, but when you use it in a caption, capitalize each word, optimize posting times. So when you're going to look at your insights, think about when you are posting in conjunction with your hashtag, because you might be using a good hashtag, but people are not on the platform. So don't blame the hashtag. Think about optimizing posting times to give your hashtag the best chance. Use your hashtags to foster a sense of community, loyalty, and show people you're attentive and interested. Research top performing hashtags, folks. It's one of the biggest tips I can give to you today, and use the ones that are using for you. How to find hashtags? Use the search bar. Go to the people or the business or the company or the influencers. Look what hashtags they are using and what is featured on the most engaging post. Go and look what your competitors are using successfully. I'm going to share 3 links for you. Those are my go-to sources of hashtag search tools and places to look for hashtags. Hashtag.org is brilliant. Best hashtags I absolutely adore. And then Ahrefs is a super hashtag generator. So you can test if you're creating your own. Fantastic tools for analyzing, researching hashtags. So I just want to quickly summarize. Stay informed of what's working in your industry for your audience. Align with trends. Don't be afraid to experiment. Monitor what's working. And importantly, don't shoot for the biggest volume hashtags. You're going to get lost in a sea of content. Find fantastic niche specific low or medium volume hashtags. Those are the ones that are going to get you seen. Curiosity is absolutely key in this instance. It's key to learning. It's key to succeeding. Analyze your stuff, identify patterns. Tips to create your own unique and memorable hashtags. Think about your brand identity. What aligns with your brand? Something memorable, easy to remember. Don't try and get clever. Don't misspell it. Keep it as short as you can. Let it flow off the mouth as a little phrase. Keep it unique and distinctive. That's why you need those tools I've just given you. Come up with a hashtag and type it into there and see if it's unique. Because if you don't, and you start using this, and you start using it as a campaign hashtag, a brand hashtag, and somebody else is using it too, they search that hashtag and everything comes up for everybody who's using the hashtag. So you do want to be unique. And don't try to be too clever or too obscure, because it's things people are not going to search for. It must be perhaps a question on somebody's mind, a statement on somebody's mind. Your USP. What are people looking for as the transformation you deliver? You can all come up with something fantastic. No special characters. So like a password or whatever, you cannot do that. Just check your spelling, make sure it's right and it's proper words. Make sure it's not ambiguous and don't be politically sensitive. Understand your audience preferences, check your competitors, and then importantly, compliance. Be aware of trademark issues. You never ever want to hijack somebody else's hashtag. Go and use these tools to search if a hashtag is already in use. Respect intellectual property and platform policies. There are things you can do and can't do, and of course, our recommended tips I gave you earlier. And then user-generated content, be sure you ask permission. And then, of course, social responsibility is a big one, ethical use of hashtags. Don't make promises you cannot live up to attached to a hashtag. It'll really do your brand damage. And finally, hashtags are dynamic. Be prepared to adapt. Regularly check what's happening. How are the hashtags affecting your content? Use them wisely. You do not have to use them in every single post. If your post is just a quick bit of inspiring you, and you don't necessarily need everybody on the planet to see it, you don't need to add a hashtag. Finally, I'm quickly going to give you some examples of successful campaigns and failed campaigns. The Ice Bucket Challenge, the success of it was how it went viral and raised awareness and funds for the specific ALS research. It was simple and showed the power of social sharing and how people connect around a cause. Coca-Cola, Share a Coke, encouraged users to share pictures of personalized Coke bottles. Personalization and user engagement. And then Apple Event was another successful one. Of course, Apple has to be in this list, which they used during their launches. The consistency of this hashtag used for recurring events builds anticipation, and people just can't wait to see what's coming next. Built over time with credible engagement and results for people who are following the hashtag. And then Share Your Ears for Disney encouraged users to share photos of wearing Mickey Mouse ears to raise funds for Make-A-Wish Foundation. They combined a creative call to action i.e. share your ears, with a charitable cause. Quickly, some mistakes. McDonald's McD stories, intended to encourage customer stories, backfired because people shared all their negative experiences under that hashtag. And once it's in that space and that hashtag's in use, it's attached forever. So be careful what you use it for. Susan Boyle, Susan album party, which read as Suze anal bum party. So that was a highly failed campaign. And then Waitrose reasons, similar to MacD's issue. So I would be steer very clear of using it for people to share accolades. They wanted people to share their upscale grocery shopping experience. And what did they get? People saying how elitist they are. So it ended up in a complete backlash of elitism. So in the early stages where we talk about levels of awareness, where people are unaware of a problem, it's very hard to target them because you don't know how to pitch your solution. But the next level down, where they are aware of a problem, but might not be aware of which solution is available to them, that is a very good topic for hashtags. To come up with ideas, like we search Pinterest, and suddenly there's a solution in front of them. It starts with a topic, interest, knowing what your audience is interested in, and then it brings them to your profile. At that instance, they might not already be looking for a product, but you then have got the opportunity to educate them and tell them more. But your different posts will also have different purpose depending on the strategy. The hashtag thing is not as simple as you thought it was. It's a very strategic marketing tool. AI is giving the same thing to everybody who's asking that question. Now you're suddenly not competitive and you're not unique. These hashtag tools, they've been around forever. They understand the use of hashtags. Have you asked ChatGPT to create you a caption for a post and seen what they do with the hashtags and the emojis? Let them create the caption and ignore the rest. For out of the box thinking, there's no better place to start. But it's not copy and paste. I say to everybody, and I say constantly to you guys in the coaching, you do not copy and paste your AI. You apply your mind and your brain and your brand and your strategy to whatever it spits out.